everyone, Paul from International Scale Modeler. Welcome to part 3 of our Tarangus SAAB JA37 Viggen build. As you saw in the last part, what we'd done, we'd assembled all the engine, the exhaust and nozzles, reverse thrusters, etc. We'd also filled and part sanded some of the fuselage seams as well. Now this has been left for it's been a month now since I last touched this. So what we had, we used a molten plastic putty to fill the seam lines. That's left to set. I've sanded the rest of that off today. I test sprayed it with some flat black to see what we've got, and we have got a few, if I can get the camera to focus, there's a few little pot marks here and there just knocking about. So what we're going to do, there's a few more that side. I don't know if the camera's going to pick them up, but they are there where they haven't quite filled with the molten sprue, which would be the same for any filler. So what we're going to do for speed today, we're going to use super glue. As I've just put my cocktail stick in the glue, so we'll change that. We're going to use super glue as a filler. We're going to dab a few dots into these very, very small, tiny, minuscule holes that we've got, and then we're going to use some kicker to fully seal them, set them, and sand them. Then once done that, we'll give it a test spray again in the spray booth, and then come back, bit of rescribing, and we can move on to the next part. So it's just a case, cocktail stick, little dab, any tiny little holes that you can see, drop a little bit of super glue in, so you're happy that we've got them all. Now this actual area of the aircraft is going to be covered, so it shouldn't be that much drama. That side is the worst side. This side there is just two, there's quite a big one. Just there. And a couple of small ones. There and there. So when I was shot, I do apologise, but there we go. It's just there on the very front of the fuselage by the nose. There's just one tiny little dot. Like I said, the camera may not be picking this up, but there we go. So that's them all filled. So what you can then come back with is, leave that to dry naturally, which will take 10 to 15 minutes to set and a good hour or so to cure, or we can come straight in with some super glue kicker. If I can get a brush, there we go, a micro brush, very handy little brushes these, a bit of super glue kicker, drop it in. What I like to do is just spray it in the lid, dip the brush in, and then if we run it anyway, we've got super glue. It's terrible stuff, and what we'll do, we will mop up the excess because it will get everywhere otherwise. Stinks to high heaven. It's real nasty stuff, gives me terrible headaches, which is why I don't use this method as much as I'd like to. Super glue is a great filler, there's no shrinkage, dries rock hard, and doing this method means it dries very, very fast. Like so. So there you go. That should be instantly set. As you can see, a lot of it's evaporated away, and there we go, absolutely rock hard. So literally dried in seconds. Then come back in with your sander, and we will use the black one for this. I can try and keep you in shot. I'll just sand one of them to show you what. So I don't press too hard. Got the rougher side of the black UMP sander. Just keep going until you feel that it's gone. There you go. Once done with the black, I like to come with the grey. Just going to turn it. Finer grade, and then we use the softer side of the black as a finer grade again. And then we come with the buffer. And there we go, like new. Absolutely perfect. Now what you should get, if you filled any holes in, see the black? There's the black paint. So that's where those holes were. They should be filled absolutely perfectly. Now they're squeaky smooth. Oh, sorry, I took out a shot. Squeaky smooth. And there you go. So there's one. What I'll do, I'll crack on with the rest of these because we've got what, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. There's about 9 tiny little spots to get done. There you go, you can see them all there. And we'll come back and I'll test spray them off camera again. We'll come back and we'll have a look at some rescribing as well. Okay, so we've filled, we've sanded, we've checked it all again. We all seem fine now. So you can see there where it's taken. I actually put a bit of Mr. Surfacer in there just to double check it, and it all seems fine now. To be honest, this part of the fuselage, the instructions, is covered by the front. I have no idea what these things are called. It's covered by mostly of those anyway, so they're attaching there. Yeah, so you're not going to see a huge amount of this anyway. So I still try and like to do the best job I can, and I have. So that's what we've got for now. Now what I did, disaster, I started to rescribe the other side, which I've done. Sadly, I've got a live hangout actually on the go here. They're all muted so they can't hear me or you hear them. And while talking away, I've got and rescribed an extra couple of panel lines that shouldn't be there. That one shouldn't be there, and that top one shouldn't be there. But mistakes happen. It's hard luck. They look really glaring because they're on black, obviously. Rescribing is from my weakest skill. I hate rescribing, so I do the best I can and go from there. Once you get the primer down, it's not noticeable anyway. So yeah, we've got an extra panel line at the top there, and this one shouldn't be there either, but idiot. So gone with the flow, admit the mistake, and we'll do exactly the same on the other side. So how did I do this? Number one, Trumpeter's rescribing tool. I've got Tamiya's, I've got UMM. For most of the time I used a Trumpy one. I find it the easiest to control. I've got about a dozen rescribing templates in the drawer, made a photo etch, but the old Dymo tape on a bit of masking tape seems to do the job brilliantly, and that's what I use most of the time. So as you can see on the other side, we've lost all the upper panel lines completely. We've just got the remnants of a few left. So what we're going to do is exactly what we did on the other side. There's a point there, which is about there, and then we're going to do a vertical line right across. Just going to pull that over a little bit. So it is about there. We can tweak it if need be. Pull it across till it looks straight. Now the idea of putting this on the masking tape is you can remove it several times, whereas when it's on the actual Dymo tape you don't get that many chances of removing it. So it just allows you to use it a little bit more. Position it so you get it straight, to where you think it's at a point of being straight, which I think, to be honest, it was better where I originally had it. There we go, that'll do nicely. So that gives us our horizontal point. Still doesn't look right. Let's try again. So this is the beauty of having it on the masking tape. You can keep peeling it on and off without a drama. I just want to make sure we've got the correct reference on the back. Perfect, that'll do me. So that's our horizontal point. And then vertical. So the mistake I made was this one here goes right to the top and these ones don't, but we all are going to interconnect them all together because that's the mistake we've made. So what we need to do is get that front one there. So you can see the very bottom of it, if we can catch it, it's just there by my fingernail. That isn't dirt up my fingernail, by the way. I nearly ripped it off the other day. That's blood at the top of my nail. So we'll pick that reference there, we'll go this way. Try and keep you guys in shot. As you see, these labels are used. They were marking a paint stand, which I no longer have. So I took it off, popped it in the drawer. So there we go. So we'll pop that down. Make sure you're in line with where you need to rescribe, which is there. You got your straight point up. So what I think we'll do is we'll ease that off. We'll do that horizontal line there, so we know it lines up. So this one's going to go straight down from there to there. So I'm going to hold that back. It's my phone. Should be on sound, but it's not. It is now. So there we go. We go from that point at the top right the way down. So it's a case of scriber on the edge of the tape, and just nice and lightly, a few passes, check it, have a look. Looks great to me. If you want, you come a little bit heavier. Perfect. So now you can see, there you go. A perfect line right the way top to bottom, and then we'll pop this one back. Like so. And there's our straight edge. So what we can do now, because we're screwed up, if you're doing this properly, you don't want to put a line all the way across, but because we're screwed up what we're doing, we can. So get your point there. Nice and light back. I normally do 3 passes, that should be more than enough. And we'll leave that one be, and it's a case of doing each one systematically as we go. Like I say, I have done it wrong, but I'm going to embrace the mistake and just go with it. Now you'll find using this tape a lot easier than any template because it sticks itself down. You can reposition it. Because trying to hold those P templates whilst you're mucking about trying to rescribe can often do more damage than good. So I do like using these. I found it a lot easier, a lot quicker. We've just done what? Half a dozen panel lines. Try and keep you guys in shot. So there we go, and then the one that isn't supposed to be is right there, isn't it? That third one along. So assume it goes there. We're going to match the other side. So if it isn't there, it's tough. I made the mistake, so it's my call. There we go. So there we go, nicely rescribed, just get any muck out the hole. And if you look at it, if you're not happy, be very careful. At the template, you can freehand it. That looks great to me. Now, obviously, if you make a mistake and you want to correct it, the easy way to do it is put some super glue in there, fill it in, start again. Rescribing through super glue can be quite difficult though, so it can make work harder for yourself. Now, what you'll also see is that your new rescribed lines are a lot sharper than the old ones. So what I like to do is just come in and very, very lightly sand over them. With a 220 grit sander, and then come with our buffer and just give it a buffer over. We don't want this perfectly shiny because the rest of the aircraft isn't, so I'm going to give it a semi-matte finish. Obviously if you do that, you have to go over your panel lines again because you accumulate dust in there. So there we go, both sides rescribed the same. Made a slight mistake on one side obviously, but that's by the by. I've got a couple lines to rescribe on the front. I'll do those off camera. We'll come back and we'll start putting the back of the fuselage on. Right, there we go, everything rescribed, ready to go. So that front part of the fuselage pretty much sorted now. Pretty straightforward rescribing on the front, nothing too drastic. Didn't screw anything up like I did on the back anyway, so that's a bonus. So off camera, I've cut out the lower wing section. We've added wheel wells, which are quite nicely detailed. There's a bit of detailing, you can always spruce them up a little bit. I've got pictures, this is something else meant to mention as well. I mentioned pictures that were taken for me by a friend. I've now uploaded all those to a photo bucket album. They are on the forum in the walk arounds reference section, and I also posted them up on Facebook. Although they'll disappear on there in a couple of days probably because they get taken down the list, but they're on the forum anyway. You can have a look, there's loads of great reference shots. I'm building this completely out of the box other than the PE extras I've added, but if you want to super detail it you could. So what we got now is this section and these parts. Now this is a bit tricky, I've been dry fitting it. We do have a bit of a gap as well, which is a bit of a shame. So I can show this. So that fits in there, and then the nozzle fits in down the back, but we'll leave that out for now. As you can see, it fits together. It's not too bad, there's a bit of a gap at the back, as you can see, but the main problem is going to be here. There is a gap. It's not going to close up, so it's going to need a little bit of filler, a little bit of work, unless the tail section is going to cover it, which I doubt. But we'll deal with that when we need to. Once that's done, that then fits in position over the lower wings. Let me show you on the side because it doesn't fit. This thing's getting rather big now, as you can see. So they all fit in there. So what we're going to do is try and glue this in above here. I'm going to just put this camera up a bit just to give us a bit of a wider shot. We'll keep zoomed in on the bottom one. So we need to keep all fingers together. Again, make sure we're where we want it to be, which is exactly there. I've got this Tetra glue, I think I mentioned this last time. Just going to lob some in there because this is a part that can't be seen. This stuff dries ridiculously fast. I'm going to pop a little bit inside as well. Very, very fast drying, but oh my god, it stinks. Just taking my breath away there. It absolutely stinks to high heaven, but it dries super quick. I mean, I cannot probably touch that yet. I can touch that, that's dry already, which is the beauty of it. So I just tack that on there, and what we'll do now is we'll glue just inside here, just because it's a little bit fiddly. And what it'll do, it'll just help whilst I'm trying to manoeuvre everything in place. So we can start to have a look at the fit we've got, which isn't too bad. The state of my hands, covered in paint, isn't too bad. It's going to need a little bit of work, but what we'll do, we'll get it all attached to the wings and then go from there with what needs doing. So that's not bad. So what I think we'll do is we'll glue the front there. We'll do this here. Focus, come on. There we go. Once we've got that in and we're happy with that, we give it a little bit of a push. Make sure we're fully home, make sure we're fully in, and then we'll do that top line there. And then we'll flip it round and do the other. So the main need for a little sprinkling of filler here and there. So I'm just going to push that in. Make sure you hold it as you glue, you don't want it to fall apart. So what it will be a case of there, you see the gap, it's very, very small. What I don't want that molten effect appearing. So we're not going to push too hard, and all we do there, exactly like we did here with the Vallejo, put it in, wipe it off, job done. Same to the other side. The glue is absolutely phenomenal. The Tetra glue works fantastically well. Really does work good. Dries ultra fast. Just works brilliantly. I've been using this now exclusively for a couple of weeks. I haven't really touched Tamiya Extra Thin at all, and I am really liking this stuff. It's very, very strong now. If you catch a whiff of it, it really does take your breath away. But it just dries so quick. It's phenomenal. Absolutely phenomenal. As you see, there's the gap at the back. We've got the tail section to go in, which won't be going in just yet. We'll play that by ear and we'll see what we're left with. But obviously gaps can be sorted. It's a newish kit. Well, there's a new kit from a small company, and I think the level of detail and fit is brilliant. Personally, I'm rather impressed, I have to say. It's a lot worse from well-known manufacturers. Just loaded the brush up there a little bit to make sure we got plenty of glue inside. Just get a bit of purchase there, that'll do nicely. So push that in there a little bit, not putting a huge amount of force on, because we have got a bit of molten plastic. Oh, it's gone now actually, that's great. On the other side, I don't want that to happen because it's easier to fill it with the velour than it is to get rid of the molten plastic squeezed out this, squozed out the side. Mike's gonna love that one. It's easier to work with it like that than the other way. So I'm going to just pop a little bit more glue in there, just to smooth it all out. There we go. We'll do the same on the top there. Perfect. That seems great. This one's not as good, so I'm going to pop a tiny little bit more glue in. There we go. Much better. So there we are. So that leaves us our gap at the back and the very tail. I'm going to leave that loose at the back. Push that in there. So that helps. If you squeeze underneath to close that gap in between my thumbs, as you can see, that helps. So we will pop a tad more glue in. So hold it shut for a minute. Hopefully that'll get it. And we'll glue that back end up, get the engine in. We'll get that in first. And then we'll get the lower wing on. Maybe we'll get the upper one on today. Not sure how much longer is left on the memory card. There can't be a lot left. There we go. So we've got a little bit of filling just at the back there, and the front's pretty good. Where it joins the fuselage is good. Obviously got remnants of paint there from the other side. But other than that, it's actually pretty good. Not sure there's any point in chucking glue in this gap here, but we'll put some in. So we give it a gentle push. No, there's no manoeuvring that in there, so I'm not going to muck with it. We'll leave it be. What we will do though is we'll put a little bit, get this in first. So this locates there and there at the top too. There we go. So it fits in like so. So what we might do is we'll give it a little bit of a clean up before we glue it in place. Just going to need a bit of buffing. I have to give it a bit of a light grey. of a buff, just all round. Don't want it perfectly smooth. There we go. So what we'll do, we will glue that top together. Grab a peg. Might not need the peg, we'll see. There we go, give it a little squeeze to get rid of any gap that was there. A little bit of sand, and you see we've got the sprue gate still on there because we didn't cut it flush. Just hold it for a sec. We'll see what left with. So yeah, a little bit of a gap on that rear spine, but it's nothing too drastic, I don't think. Just wondering if with a little push we can get her in more. There's no way of clamping this because it's not cylindrical. It's the thing, when you know you haven't got the fit, it's a little bit of trial and error. Just a little dab of glue here, a little dab there, and just see if we can ease it into place. Pardon the expression. And then once you've done the best you can, leave it alone and let it be. Right, so they're all glued up at the back there, as you can see. So we're going to pop this in. There's that little lug on the top that sits in that hole there, so we pop that in. Almost clips in place very nicely. What we're going to do, we're going to pop a little bit of glue underneath there as well. Didn't see that gap. Hopefully we can give that a little bit of a squeeze too. Give it a little bit of a clamp actually when we're mucking about with this engine. It's fine. And then as you can see, we've got the hole there, the lug there that sits inside there like so. That's right in the way, so we'll pop that there. No, we won't, because it's not going to hold it. That's fine. And run a little bit of glue along the top. That'll give us some support and strength. A few dabs down the bottom. And a little bit at the top. So again, fit's not bad. You've got a small gap that side. There isn't one this side, so just chuck some glue along the seam. And along there, and along the bottom. A little bit of a squeeze. Sorry, you're off out of shot on the close-up cam. There we go. Perfect. That will do, mate. So really starting to show the true length of this thing. It's going to be a big, big aircraft. Right, what we did on these, we pre-drilled some holes there and there. Tells you to do the instructions. We're going to pop this on now. See what the fit of this is like. Got a little bit of plastic there to remove. Just gone, no more there, that's fine. And we'll try the wing fit and see what that's like. Right, very nice join underneath. Excellent, very nice join down the back as well. That's top notch. Very good. All round very nice. So what we'll do now is we'll quickly grab, I didn't plan this far ahead so I didn't cut them off. We'll get the wing tops. We'll cut them off, clean them up, and we'll stick them in. Again, I'm not sure how long we've got left. Like I say, keep these to 45 minutes. We can't be far off that, but I don't know unless I stop my camera, so we're not going to know to start flashing at me when there's 5 minutes left. Try and get as much done as I can. Oh, we didn't want that to happen though. Cut that one off first then. We'll let an indentation in the back of the wing. Surface detail is beautiful on this kit, it really is good. It's very, very nice. Take those as close as we can without actually going up to them, to avoid filling and damage. Those two need to go smooth out. Beautiful shape to that thing. Really nice. So that's one. Oh, we haven't got any damage, that's great. So we saved the damage there, which is fantastic. I need to move this camera a little bit. There we go, that's better. As on the outside, it's a very nice day. The birds are chirping away. It's very warm, especially with all these lights in here. Absolutely roasting. Still got the hangout on the go. I've got Michael Campbell Cohen in there, and Hendrik Hoger, Hollywood modelling, chatting away. So I'm just doing steps of this, chatting to them, turn them off, put the cameras on when I need to record, and I'll keep doing that all day. Means I can work on bits, then come to the camera, and it makes it a bit more enjoyable. So there we go, there's the fit of that. God damn, this thing's going to be big. There's one wing. It's not a bad fit at all. It's stopping us there though, and then on this side, God, beautiful fit. It was really nice, quite impressed by that. The wing roots are second to none. So what I'm going to do, this is going to take a bit of clamping, a bit of mucking about. I don't want to run out of time. So I'm going to do this off camera. I'm just going to clamp all the wing roots, put a dab of glue here and there, and we'll get them glued in position. Okay, we're back. As you can see, we've now got the lower, upper wing sections on, the vertical stabilizers on, we've got the horizontal stabilizers on the front. The intake scoop front is on as well. We've got the nose cone glued together. We've added some weight, I'll show that in a second. And we've generally tidied it up everywhere. We've glued everything together. One problem area, well, two really, but one that's been the major problem, but it's not that bad a problem, if that makes sense, is this section just by the vertical stabilizer on the back. If I'm just going to take this off. Well, I'll show you so there you go. There's the Viggen. It's a big bird. It's over 1 foot long. The delta wing, and as you can see, we've had some filler on the back. So I'll take the nose off. What I'll do, I'll show you the nose for now. The instructions state that it shouldn't be a tail sitter the way it's been made, but if you're adding the ordnance to it, it may be worth adding some ballast to it. So I've done my usual fishing shot, split shot, mixed in just normal craft PVA, mixed together, bunged in, kept upright until it was done. Bob's your uncle. Easily done. That's nice and secure. Now I did that today. These are in halves, just been glued together, filled, lightly sanded. It'll ought to be sprayed black over all the seams to check if we're perfect or not. But I'll do that later. I've got a little bit of work still to do on the Viggen itself, but that was fairly easy. It's quite a good fit on the fuselage itself. It clips on and give it a little twist to line it up, and there you go, held in place. Brilliant. The horizontal stabilizer on the front, no real problem at all. They were on really nice tight fit. The wings were a fantastic fit, absolutely beautiful. There's no filler anywhere on the leading edges. I've got a little bit of sprue glue just there on that pylon there. Same on the other side, tiny little bit. We had this gap on the top of the spine, which we filled, sanded. Yet to see what it's like, because this has probably been the worst problem on the kit so far. Horizontal stabilizers in the tail. Fits in okay one side, just a little bit of filler in, smoothed off with cotton bud. This side I've had to actually put filler in, and I don't use filler very often, but I've had to do it on this. I had to leave it to set. We comes back to that and sand it down and see what we've got after, because it was a substantial gap, and this part did require a bit of sanding to get it to fit in there neatly. But other than that, it's a great fit underneath. The seam here, absolutely perfect, spot on. Wheel wells are great. The intakes, not too bad, not perfect. Again, a little bit of filler needed on top, and again I'll go around and tidy all this up before we get prepared for primer and get the canopy on. But overall, fit's been very good. Just that real problem, just literally those two parts on the back, and fingers crossed they won't cause too much trouble in the future. So where we're at, there's a few more little parts to stick on. We've got this on the underbelly to do, these pylons, the landing gear we won't be doing yet. We've got metal landing gear, and we've also got resin wheels. That's that part we're having trouble with, as you can see, fits over separately. That was the real troublesome part. There's a few other bits and bobs that need adding here and there, but literally this morning we were at that step right there. I started this morning 10:30 this morning. I was on a hangout from then till about 5 o'clock working away on this, so I've literally been working it all day. I had a couple of hours in the house with the family, had some dinner, and then came back out. It's now 5 to 10 at night, and I'm literally finishing for the day. So as I always say, the videos take me quite some time to do. This has been stop-start all day, but we've gone from this to, almost completely fully built fuselage. So there's just a few parts to be stuck in position. I'm trying to find them now. They're only little bits. The landing gear, obviously, I always do that last because otherwise it gets damaged. But we've got these parts here, all need gluing in position. Couple of parts on the top of fuselage each side, they need gluing in, and on the back, but a lot of this can be replaced with PE, which is what I was going to tell you. We'll get to that next time. We've got this entire exterior and air brakes. So we've got the wheel wells to do. There's various parts on the exterior to put on. So quite a bit to do. We'll get to this next time when we concentrate on getting all these bits on. We'll get the canopy mast glued in position, and we should be ready for primer by the end of the next part, which will be part 4, if I remember right. So that's where we're at today. Like I say, whether it needed that much weight in the nose, I don't know, but I added it just to make sure. And what I'm going to do now is let this filler go off, sand it smooth. I'll go around, check all the seam lines with a bit of black paint, and fingers crossed we'll look okay. But we're starting to get there now. We've come a long way today. Really is starting to look like a Viggen now, which is great. I'm getting excited because I'm getting to my favourite bit, which would be the painting of this, using that beautiful splinter cam masking set that I really am looking forward to doing. Okay, that will fit on now. There we go, probably fall off, but there we go. So there we go. So that's about 40 minutes of video, so that'll do me. It's plenty. Like I say, we're back very soon. I'm going to get an armour one up next. More work on the crowds. That's my next job. So there's been a huge gap. Couple of life, not changing, don't be medical, but decisions to make, and they've been made, and now I can progress with things and gives me more time for the hobby. I'll explain it next time when we come back, when things are a bit more settled, but it's nothing bad. It's probably moving forward for the better, to be honest. And that's it. So there you go, massive step on the Viggen today. a good solid probably 7-8 hours work on it today. So big step, it's got a long way, and now I'm going to go relax and hang out with all the guys and probably work on the Kraz and get that ready for the next video. So there you go. Thanks for watching, guys. I'll see you next time for part 4, where we'll get all that PE on, anything else that needs adding to the fuselage, get the canopy mast, and we'll get it ready for primer, and we'll really get going with this now, start motoring along. So there you go. So thanks for watching, guys. See you soon, catch you around, and I'll see you on the forum.